We're here to talk She-Hulk, and I just realized something.
Yes. Go on.
We're about to mansplain She-Hulk to our audience. And you wouldn't like us when we mansplain. But we're going to do it anyway.
I'm just going to let you do it.
Hello, everyone. We're back. Marvel Week / episode of Survivor.
It's big witchy.
It's a big week for us here.
Lord of the Rings is over, so...
I've not even started it yet. But we're talking She-Hulk. We got 5 things to talk about. Obviously, it's about She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, played by Tatiana Maslany.
Mm-hmm.
You also get Mark Ruffalo. You get Jamila Jamil. You get Ginger Gonzaga as Nikki.
Fantastic.
You got the guy that plays Pug. Also fantastic.
Who is an Arrow, who plays an incredible character in Arrow from a few years ago.
But you also get Charlie Cox and Tim Roth.
Yes. And Benedict Wong.
And Benedict Wong as Wong.
And Madison with a Y.
And Madison with a Y, who we only see one episode. It's a complex thing because, you know, the story of this is they are commenting on the real life misogyny of the Marvel fandom. Like it's a vocal minority, but they love to be on Twitter. They love to be on Reddit. Yeah. They're super loud. And this story is about them and how toxic fandom is kind of poisoning the well with Marvel a little bit.
As the show starts, the discourse is so, like it's happening in real time. And that's what's, like, this show is so interesting because it's making those people so mad as it's like, hey, just wait for it. You need to wait. They're like, no, we are not going to wait. I'm so angry. And it's like, seriously, you should probably stop, you know? And what is interesting with that, too, is I did see a lot of, like, for the last few weeks, it's just been so loud, that minority, they're just like, and then, like, as soon as it was over, as soon as the season ended, that's when you get more people being like, man, what a great show. Yeah. Like, it's so interesting how it all plays out. Like, yeah, just wait till it's over, then you can have your opinion. Yeah. And everyone can have their opinion, but, like, just don't be awful about it.
It does start unevenly. Yeah. A lot of the main plot, you get hints of it in the first couple episodes. And I understand it's a comedy. With comedy shows, it takes a longer time to set up everything.
Yes.
So I understand all that, but for the longest time, I was watching it, I was like, all right, what's happening here? Yeah. I need some development of the character beyond fourth wall breaking and things like that. Speaking of our second point, I want to talk about the characters, Jen Walter specifically, because it's her show. The fourth wall breaking, I think they set up very well. From the beginning, it's like a small moment. Yeah. And then it slowly builds into the crescendo that is the finale, where she breaks through Disney+.
Yeah. And talks to Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah, a robot with a hat bill that looks very much like Kevin. I mean, the robot doesn't look like Kevin Feige, but...
Which makes him the strongest character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Interesting.
Because he owns all the stories.
Just like Oscar Isaac, like if you're going to follow this one person for 8 to 9 episodes, they've got to be compelling, they've got to be interesting, they can't be like too much, and it is good, especially when you have like Ruffalo showing up every once in a while, or someone like an Emil Blonsky, a Tim Roth. It's like she was able to hold her own against people that we've known for like 12, 13 years now. Yeah. You know?
And it's a good way to deconstruct the Marvel storytelling, because that's what all this show does really, is like the point of it is like, look, you don't always need a daddy issue. Yeah. You don't always need a mommy issue. Sometimes it's just a woman wanting to be a paralegal, and also she just happens to be a superhero by accident. Yeah. And she has to deal with the struggles of dealing with toxic masculinity, but also just wanting to live her life.
It's structured as a comedy. It's structured as a sitcom, and this is our first kind of dip into that. I do think we can talk about this later. I do think it should have been a little longer as a comedy, but yeah, I mean, like the same thing like Parks and Rec, Community, Cheers, like all of those. You have to have good side characters, and this one has so many good ones. Like you mentioned her friend Ginger Gonzaga, like so good. Pug is great. Even like her lawyer boss is like, you know, he's like kind of like not great, but you're I like this guy. You know, like I get where this dude's coming from, or even like the old DA they used to work. There's just so many little good characters that you're like, they really ground the whole, I think, universe too, because you're like, these are just normal people who are like, this is pretty wild, right? And this is crazy, and like we don't get to have that in many Marvel things. That like there's just a dude who's like, yeah, I'm just trying to like be a lawyer and buy some sneakers, you know?
Yeah, and then you also got a guy that is half boar. And you also have a guy that's in a porcupine costume. Yeah. And then you have Leapfrog. It's people that are like trying to be vigilantes, you know? Rip it and ribbit. All right, next I want to talk about the style. And I have a theory that the visual effects were bad at the beginning and then got better as the season went on. And I think it was on purpose to sort of play into that toxic fandom storytelling. Now, it could be I just got used to the visual effects. Same with like Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
because Bruce Banner at first was not that great.
And Bruce, we gotta think about it. Bruce. They have that saved on the computer. They've perfected that for. I mean, legit. Like Incredible Hulk came out 14 years ago.
Yeah,
you know, like they've been working on this design for 14 years, and now it's like they've got it perfected, and they're just like, you know, there you go.
Yeah.
But also, with anything, just like. I'm not gonna defend one Chris Pratt's Mario voice, but maybe when we get in there, sometimes you just have to you just have to get used to it, and then once you get used to it, you're like, it wasn't too bad.
I like that they did not take Charlie Cox Daredevil super seriously because his show is very super serious. Yeah. But this is a sitcom, and they very much deal with the fun side of Daredevil because he can be fun. All these characters you see at the end of the day were in a comic book, and this is the most comic book show that we've had yet. I mean, a literal plot point from the comics is in this, where her breaking the fourth wall into Disney Plus.
I think this one would have been a really great one to be 18. I know 18 episodes. I know that puts a lot on the visual effects budget. That puts a lot of work on people. But I think it could have been. This could have been our like. MCU community, like winking a little bit at like TV tropes, winking a little bit at the superhero universe, and just kind of letting it breathe a little bit more. And I don't think you would have had so much reaction to, man, we're like almost done. And I still don't fully know what's going on until like we have 3 episodes left.
Well, I know the creator and head writer Jessica Gao worked on Rick and Morty a lot. Yeah. So they obviously know the meta humor that people love these days. Next, we already touched on it a little bit, but I just want to talk about the fan reaction. Like Rotten Tomatoes, it's been up and down all season. I agree, there's like the 5th and 6th episode, it's like the plot points are moving along, but then episode 8 and 9 together are really great. You get a lot of homages to old school stuff like Carrie and things like that. But the fans that just played right into the hand of the storytelling, it's just like you said, it's just like, come on, just wait. Like, you don't have to react to a show every week and be like, well, I hate it, well, I hate it, well, I hate it, when the story is not even finished.
And also, they make these comments like, this is ruined things. And really, like, I mean, I think Daredevil's a big point. Like, there are a lot of people who are like, Daredevil, like, what'd you guys do to Daredevil? It's like, no, what they do to Netflix's Daredevil, it's the same, same character, same person. I know it's supposed to be kind of different, but it's like, that's what Daredevil is. It's closer to the it's like, you don't even, you're making these claims and you don't even know.
It's like the people that wear the Punisher shirts.
Yes. It's not saying fandom is bad. You have like a pug who is clearly a fan of superheroes, who is like, I just want to get the new Iron Man sneakers, who really, like, I wish I would have dug a little bit more into that idea of like, look, it's okay to be a fan of this. It's okay to be passionate. It's okay to love these things. But he's just a nice contrast. Like when he's in that like last episode with all those terrible dudes, and you can tell like everything he's like being forced to say is like disgusting to him.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see like, look, this is a dude who loves this stuff, but also isn't like, he's like, they're making sneakers out of Iron Man stuff, you know? Like, I'm not going to be mad at an Avengers shirt, you know? Like, it's...
At the end of the day, it's content, and if you don't like it, stop watching.
Yeah.
Because, I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of the online forums, they talk about how much they hate what's happening, the product, the character work, whatever. It's like, okay, stop watching. There's other content out there.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like this, just don't watch.
Yeah.
And then if Marvel is losing money, they'll change course.
Yeah.
But right now, they're just printing money, making this stuff. And stuff like Thor Ragnarok is similar in style to She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So if you don't like She-Hulk, why did you like Thor Ragnarok?
We're talking about a TV show about a woman who like turns into a big giant monster whose hair straightens and gets longer. It's like, what are we talking about, guys? Like,
and also does legal cases as her superpowered version of herself.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the future of MCU, which we always talk about. They make jokes about how she's probably not going to be in a movie.
Which I think is not. I think she's going to be in a movie.
I mean, they're building to World War Hulk.
Yeah.
If you introduce his son, they're building to World War Hulk. Now, there's theories that the New World Order is going to be a setup to World War Hulk, because we just heard today Harrison Ford.
And I have a theory. I think, there's a rumor that Harrison Ford is going to step into a role that was already cast. R.I.P. William Hurt. But if you're gonna bring back Thunderbolt, who has such a huge part of the Hulk, and if you're gonna like have She-Hulk, and if you're gonna bring up like Hulk's son, I think they're this close to getting the rights back. I think they're very, very close, and this is kind of She-Hulk's also the way to be like, you like this Hulk content, just Hulk stuff, because you're about to get a lot of it.
And it also is like I'm sorry to the people that feel slighted by how Hulk was treated in Infinity War and Endgame. Because there are criticisms of how Hulk was, fair and true criticisms of how Hulk was treated in those two movies. Like, he gets his moments, but it's all off screen for us.
Yeah.
So we need some redemption for his character, and we're getting there. As with everything with Marvel, just like She-Hulk, you got to be patient.
Yeah.
If you're not patient with things that take long years to build out, I mean, you were patient for Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
Just be a little more patient.
Enjoy it. Do we think that they are almost introducing too much? Not like big idea. I'm not talking about like yes, it's time to introduce the multiverse. It's time to introduce more big characters. Do we think like spoilers for some random stuff, but like a Cleo, a Hercules, a Scar? Like, are we introducing too many like side things that we're just not sure if they're gonna really pay off later?
Yeah, I don't know. That was the issue with Phase 1. It was like, well, how are they going to get to Thanos? How are they going to get Guardians of the Galaxy together with everybody else? And they did it. So I'm not worried, but also I didn't read any of the stuff that Cleo was ever in.
Yeah, so. I'm not worried. It's more of like, it just seems like it feels very much let's just throw what we can at the wall. That seems really cool and interesting. It seems really cool to have Brett Goldstein of Ted Lasso fame to be Hercules, but also, are we ever going to see that play out? Are we ever going to see that, maybe in a special presentation?
Well, there was an announcement about another special presentation. So it's like, I think they need to dial back the TV shows just a tad.
I think so too, yeah.
Maybe just 2 TV shows a year, and then maybe 2 special presentations.
I think so. I am glad that with, that we, between Black Panther, like that we have maybe like a good solid 2.5 to 3 months where there's nothing Marvel. And I know that's a lot of Avatar related stuff, but I think it will be nice that we have come kind of almost to the end of almost pretty much to the end of that first run of TV show announcements. Yeah. And that we're kind of like, okay, we can breathe a little bit. And we don't have to do so many videos.
Look, hey,
we've probably done like 50 things if you add them all up.
We've done so many. Sometimes you just need a break. You need like a break. Like Rachel and Ross, you need a break to know that you still love each other.
Kind of like Justin Hammer's not here. It's been
look, I cut this from
so
the last video.
Wait, Justin Hammer